What is going on, everybody? Critic and the Common Man back with another episode. I guess not another episode, another Wandavision review. Sorry we're a little bit late on this one. I will take the blame. I was at a wedding. It was worth it. It was a great wedding, but now here we are. I think at the date of our recording this, it's Friday. I'm pretty sure episode 8 literally dropped today.
Yes.
So we're basically a week behind. Mm-hmm. We're going to get this one out really quick. Chris, me and you will jump on the podcast on Sunday and review episode 8. So we'll be back. We'll be back on schedule.
Yes.
So my bad. Dude, people are so good. The comic book fans who were telling everybody that this show was amazing for the first 3 episodes are so happy right now. I see them online and they're like, everybody who hated this show for the first 3 episodes can fuck off. Oh man. I mean, okay, here we are, episode 7, and we finally have a real villain. We finally get a little bit of a better idea of what's going on. I liked this episode. Let's jump right into it, man. What'd you think?
Well, I'll tell you.
Nice jump.
I don't know if I can do anything with that.
I believe in you. I believe in your editing skills.
Yeah, so, I mean, the first thing is first, it was really cool seeing a new hero, which, like that's, I mean, I'm not sure what name she goes by because she has like 100 names from what I understand, but I think they've been hinting at it. I'm pretty sure this is Photon. Because even behind her, you could see the plaque that said, I think her name is Monica Rambeau. I can't remember.
Hey, she's got a better backstory than Captain Marvel. I mean, dude, at least she had to walk through the weird hex and something like that. Captain Marvel literally shot an engine of a space jet and somehow became the most powerful superhero of all time. So that's cool. But sorry, that was neither here nor there. Keep going.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like just a lot happened, a lot of buildup. In the last few episodes, and to this point where like all of a sudden they just dropped a big, like it's huge, two new players in the game, with Agatha and Photon, and then on top of that, Vision is kind of starting to see things. I don't know, just the stakes are really high, and I think that this episode was pretty good for the most part.
So this episode did a couple things for me. It did not make me really like the show anymore, to be totally honest. But what it did do is it made me think that there's definitely going to be more than one season of this show. Because they finally introduced a legitimate villain, and we're basically done with the first season. We have, from what I understand, 2 more episodes. I've heard there's 9. Maybe there'll be 10. I think it's out there somewhere. So Chris, you can edit in if that's known how many episodes are going to be in this season. But yeah, I feel like there's got to be more than one episode or one season of this show now. I can't imagine that there'd be less than one season of this show now because we finally introduced a big villain. I think that the buildup of this Phase 4 Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to take long enough between all these new introductions of characters and stories that they have to do. I think we're going to be at least a couple years out from the whole story arc coming together. So my guess now, I've officially changed my stance to say there's going to be at least 2 seasons of WandaVision.
You know what's weird to me?
I don't think we're going to end with just one.
Yeah, I agree. But what's weird to me is I just realized, and I'm sure that this is probably the same thing that you've been saying, but I'm just like, now that we know that this Agatha is the real villain that's been behind it all, because even in the song, she even said that, I was there the whole time or whatever it was that she said.
Literally the lyrics of the song. It was Agatha all along.
Yeah. So what is the purpose of the sitcom aspect other than to have a sitcom aspect?
We're going to find out, I think. And again, all of these questions that are still unanswered are what are really making me lean towards the fact that we're not going to be done with this in one season.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, the reason I'm asking is because I don't know, it's starting to get old. Like, I just want to jump into, like, what is happening. I don't care that they're talking to the camera as charming as it is. I don't care that, they take moments to...
Yeah, and we've finally reached a point where we've hit... what you and I were talking about, we've hit modern time in this show. The sitcom has been progressing and building through the years up until modern day. We hit kind of the Modern Family vibe sitcom with the last episode. I've not watched episode 8 yet. I know it's out, so I mean, we may as well have dropped this a while ago. But now I'm interested to see what is the show going to look like once they stop progressing and what's going to happen. So we never gave a full spoiler warning, but this episode's been out for like over a week now, so a week now, so I think people will understand. But did you see the post-credits scene I was telling you about?
No, I completely forgot to do that. It's funny because I was like, I'm checking out right now, and I totally didn't.
So basically what happened was Monica's wandering around the town and she opens the doors to this basement, like, those old school tornado shelter doors, like to the outdoor basement entrance. She opens it up, and then Pietro comes dashing up, and when she looks in the basement, it's like purple and glowy as if like Agatha's down there. It's like her little lab or whatever. And Pietro comes up when his eyes are kind of glowing purple, and he says something along the lines of like, Snooper's gonna snoop, or something like that. Like, he catches her looking there, and then it ends. So Monica had a brief interaction with Pietro, and she's also kind of at least aware of what's going on with Agatha Harkness.
Okay.
I made the potential mistake of watching a YouTube video about who Agatha Harkness is, and I think I'm more confused now than I was before I watched the video.
She had a bunch
she
of names,
was like
didn't
she was like Wanda, or she was like a Fantastic Four character. She was like their nanny for their baby, and ended up fighting off a bunch of villains. I don't know, dude. I'm not gonna try to turn into a comic book fan overnight. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Clearly, there's people out there that understand.
Well,
but she's
speaking of being a comic fan overnight, I actually have 300 comics that I just ordered, and I spent
They got
all
delivered
night reading them.
And let me tell you, Danny, your opinions are useless.
I start pulling like
you just-
information, just numbers rushing past my head.
You just turn into one of the gatekeepers, just like everybody else who read the comic books.
Gatekeeper. That's a good media reference.
Right.
It's a good term.
Right. Lamplighter.
That's an educated man right there, folks. Educated man.
There you go, folks. He's holding the key. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, again, did you get a lot out of the actual episode, or did you get a lot out of the like last 5 minutes of the episode?
Exactly.
Basically, where they drop the one piece of information.
That's pretty much what I meant. That
yeah.
the sitcom aspect at this point serves no purpose. Like, it was charming when it was, the first few episodes, and more specifically just the black and white episodes. That's when it was like the charm was there. But after that, it was kind of like, okay, but there's more to the story, and you're literally wasting precious screen time by giving us a laugh track and trying to get us to laugh and associate with shows that aren't relevant anymore. And I don't know if that's an homage to the shows themselves to try and, give them a nod of their head and their appreciation or whatever. But again, it just serves no purpose. You pull those moments out and a story hasn't changed.
That's the problem I'm having with this show, I think, is that we're going entire episodes with just this quirky, and I'll say it's different for sure. The idea of going through the ages, no doubt, is different.
But
and there is creativity.
If there was
in
a
that.
reason for that, but like the fact that like, oh, her energy waves are just broadcasting onto our antennas. Why? Why is her energy becoming
still.
visual signals, video and audio signals for us? That doesn't make sense. It just the science here just isn't lining up for me, and it's just weird. And like now I just want that whole sitcom thing to go away so that we can get some story out of the last 3 episodes.
I still think they're going to come in at the end of the season and give some sort of better explanation. Let me rephrase that. I still have hope that they're going to come in at the end of season 1 and give us some sort of better explanation as to why this has been what it is, as to why the show has had this sitcom feel and what's been going on. I really do. And maybe we're missing something. If that's already been disclosed in the show and we're missing the idea of what it is, because maybe you could say that it's Wanda who's created this like perfect world to try to hide things, but then it's Agatha who's been tweaking things and pushing time forward for some reason. We don't really know why. Okay, I don't know. I don't know why a sitcom. How do you go from Endgame to
You could
a
have
sitcom?
the entire story the same and not have it be broadcast. Like, it could just be like, look, this weird vortex showed up. We should probably, discover what it is. And there's no
she's
weird
created this
vibes or
world.
anything. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like...
Yeah, I agree with you. And we're watching 30, 40, 45 minutes of episode, and then nothing's happened. Like, for example, I was not interested in this episode up until they announced Agatha is the new, like, the villain, and
Which
she's
is
been,
literally the last,
that's
2 minutes.
good Right, that's good information, and it progresses the story. But you're doing this almost every episode. The Modern Family vibe that they try to give off, and the humor they try to create just from doing the weird zoom ins, and we're doing the Modern Family interviews or the Office interviews
Breaking
or
the
whatever
fourth
it may
wall.
be.
Like,
Yeah,
I mean, don't get me
I'm
wrong.
not-
It got laughs out of me, but it just... So what? Like, I chuckled a couple times, but that's not... I mean, right, Tenzin?
Yeah, dude, he loves you, my
I
God. He
know.
loves getting up in your lap. That's a sweet boy. I just hear him like in your headphone. Just, No, I'm with you. And sorry, guys, I know this is kind of depressing content. I don't want to keep getting on here and ragging on WandaVision, but I'm just not seeing the appeal of it in the way that a lot of people are, and that's fine. You don't have to listen to us about this. If you love this show, then great.
I'm entertained. But hi, Marcy. You just bumped into my leg. I don't know. It just
if this wasn't the big Marvel thing, there's no way I'd be watching this show. Like, if this was just some random Netflix show that we had never heard of, really, and it was this kind of story, there's no way I'd be watching this.
Yeah.
I think I'm only watching this at this point because it's Marvel, and you think it's going to intertwine with the Phase 4 here coming up, and so you want to know what's going on. Mm-hmm. But I've not enjoyed this show, really, up until this point. And I feel like there's a lot of people that just because things are finally starting to happen, they're trying to use that as justification for why the first half of this season has just been really bland. But I don't think you can come in and introduce a villain in episode 7 of a 9-episode series, and then all of a sudden say, "Oh, see, this show rocks."
Yeah, no,
if you don't like this show, you're an idiot.
It's slow pacing, and I have a feeling that they're gonna go back and be like, "Oh, the reason that this is all happening as a sitcom is because Wanda used to watch sitcoms as a child, and that's what." And I'm like, okay, but like that's not a solid enough reason to go this wacky. I don't know. I mean, there's other things that could have been more important in her life.
I think that is a solid enough reason, but I think they should give us that information a little sooner in the season. So at least
maybe
if
we had learned that earlier, I might think differently. I don't know.
I'm okay with this whole sitcom being created by Wanda because she loves sitcoms and has always watched sitcoms, and there's some family connection where her parents were fighting, and she would watch sitcoms to, whatever it may be to avoid the trauma. Yeah, it's her escape. Whatever they end up doing with that, I get it. But, or maybe a sitcom is somehow how she got her power. I don't really know Scarlet Witch's story well enough, but I don't know. And I'm okay with whatever it is, but I think they should have given it to us already. Now Agatha's been doing this all along, but doing what?
This reveal should have been like the midpoint of the series, not
right. So
not
is
the last
Agatha
2 episodes.
the one? Right? Is Agatha the one that's keeping the hex going, or has Wanda created the hex and Agatha's taken up like occupancy in it to try and I don't know. They hopefully will clear some of this up in the next couple episodes, the last few episodes of the season. But I have a feeling at the end of this season when we come on to do our review, I'm open. Honestly, I know it doesn't sound like it. I'm open-minded from here on out to whatever happens. I'm receptive to it. But judging by the fact that we're 7 episodes deep and I'm still pretty bored by this show, I don't see how in the next 2 episodes I'm going to all of a sudden flip and say, man, what a reveal. They totally made sense of all these things I had issues with, and this is the best show ever. I don't see myself going that way.
I'm just going to reiterate, I am entertained. I enjoy it. I like the charm and the humor that it has, but as far as it being this like incredible show, it doesn't feel like it to me, and I think people are giving it high praise just because it's Marvel, just like a lot of the Marvel movies. Because there's just already a fan base there that are just going to fawn over it just because it's been created.
It's like Pixar, man.
Yeah.
The last few Pixar movies that came out, you and I didn't really love either, and I think that wasn't received super well because there's a Pixar bias, and you can do that with a lot of big studios.
Yeah, of course. I don't know. I feel like as a critic looking at this and analyzing the show as a whole so far, it's slow, and compared to most of the television that's coming out lately is just not up to par with it, in my opinion. Like, I would rather watch The Boys than this.
Oh yeah, I mean, different show for sure, and more.
True.
That's the argument too. That's what people keep saying. Oh, this show's people just don't like it because it's not action. And you've said this too, like, oh, people don't like it because it's not action and sex and fast pace and this and that, and it's different.
Word for word,
and that's why people don't like it. Well, and people are, what you read online and whatnot is just a lot of people saying the same thing. Oh, you just don't like the show because it's not fast paced and it's not actiony enough. Okay, maybe, but
that's
not
the case for me.
Yeah, I think that probably is for me. I think I'm simple in that way, and I fall into that group. But either way, I mean, as a Marvel content, it's hard to go from Endgame to this being the next Marvel thing that you get, and it's like
it definitely does feel like the beginning of a new phase as opposed to a continuation of the old one.
That's true. Yeah, they're doing a good job of creating. I mean, this Phase 4 already. If I keep saying Marvel Vision. I've said that before. If WandaVision is where they're going with this, it'll definitely be different. It'll definitely be different. I don't know if it's gonna be better, but it'll definitely be different. So we'll see, guys. I don't know. Episode 7, WandaVision, pretty much in the books. We're going to watch episode 8 tonight. Maybe we'll find something out that blows our mind. And then it sounds like we're pretty much right around the corner from being done with this season. We'll come in and do a final season overview, let you know what we thought. But that's it, man. I mean, you got anything else for this episode, Chris?
No, I mean, I'm definitely curious to see what happens. I'm just waiting for Vision to like go Vision mode and start kicking some ass. That's what I'm waiting for. I want him to do something other than confront her. Confront her. That's all I'm saying.
Confront her. If she breathes, she's a thought. Yeah, agree with you, man. Episode 7, WandaVision. Guys, we'll be back next week. Actually, it's not even gonna be next week. It's gonna be a few days. Sorry, we're a little behind again. My fault. I was out at a wedding, and bachelor party and everything for days, so we didn't get a chance to record.
He went to
I will take the
Bangkok.
blame for that one. Went to Bangkok. Things got wild. We got some stuff coming out. Chris finally watched Queen's Gambit, so welcome to like April 2020, Chris. Welcome to April 2020. So we're gonna have that out for you guys, and some trailer reviews and movies and other content coming out. So that's it. WandaVision episode 7. We appreciate the watch, guys. Let us know down below what you think. I know that we have obviously a lot of this is a polarizing show and good for Marvel, at least for getting the word out. But let us know if you guys think this is the worst review ever, if we're missing the point, if you agree that WandaVision's been a little slow so far. We'd love to hear your opinions. That's it. Critic and the Common Man, WandaVision episode 7. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.